Have you ever had that feeling? You've got this huge, brilliant idea. You're excited, you're ready to go, but you're also just stuck, frozen. You know you want to start, but for some reason, you just can't. Well, today we're going to figure out exactly why that happens. It's such a maddening question, isn't it? You've got these incredibly high standards, these massive ambitions for yourself. So why in the world does that so often end with you just staring at a blank page? Let's dive in. So this all starts with something called the perfectionist's paradox. And trust me, it's a frustrating little mental trap that so many of us fall into. Okay, picture this. You're imagining the final version of your project, the flawless novel, the game-changing business, whatever it is. And that vision in your head is so epic, so perfect, that taking that first messy, clumsy step forward feels completely impossible. This is the core of the problem, right here. On one side, you've got this amazing ambition. You want to create your masterpiece. Who doesn't? But on the other side, that exact same desire creates this paralyzing fear. You become so afraid of any action that isn't already perfect that you just create nothing. It's like a mental tug-of-war. And spoiler alert, nobody ever wins. So, what is going on inside our heads to make us do this? Well, it turns out there's actually a bit of brain chemistry behind this self-sabotage. We're going to call it the dopamine deception. All right, quick science class. Dopamine. You've probably heard it called the feel-good chemical, but it's really more like the go-get-it chemical. It's what your brain releases when it anticipates a reward, which is what motivates you to get up and, do things. It's absolutely key for drive and for focus. And here is the catch. This is where it all gets tricky. Your brain can actually be fooled. Just the act of imagining and planning that perfect project can give you a nice little hit of dopamine. It feels good to daydream, to make detailed plans, to organize your folders. And sometimes it feels so good that it actually replaces the need to do the real work. And just like that, you've created this sneaky, powerful feedback loop that's designed to keep you stuck. Let's break down exactly how this thing works. We're calling this the perfectionism dopamine loop. It's this deceptive cycle where your brain starts rewarding you for the planning, not for the doing. Think about it. Real work is messy. It's full of mistakes and setbacks. Planning is clean. It's safe, and it feels really productive, even when you're not producing a thing. And this is that cycle in action. First, you set some impossibly perfect goal. Then you start planning it all out, and bam, dopamine hit. Feels awesome. But then, when it's actually time to do something, the fear that you won't live up to the perfect plan kicks in, and you freeze. That inaction leads to guilt and shame. And how do you soothe that feeling? Oh, you guessed it. You go right back to planning something even bigger, even more perfect. It is a literal hamster wheel for your brain. To put it another way, you've become addicted to the dream, not the doing. Your brain is getting its reward from the fantasy of success, not from the messy reality of the work. But here's the really important part. Like any loop, this one can absolutely be broken. Okay, so we've spent enough time on the problem. How in the world do we get off this hamster wheel? Let's walk through 4 very real steps you can take to break free. Here it is, your new game plan. First, shrink the goal. Make it so small it's almost laughable. Second, set a failure deadline. This isn't for the final product, it's for the messy first draft. Third, and this one is key, reward the attempt. Reward yourself for just showing up, not for the outcome. And finally, you've got to change your target. Aim for good enough. What we're doing here is a total mindset shift. In that old, broken loop, the reward comes from having the perfect idea. On this new path, your reward comes from taking an imperfect action. We're swapping motivation that's fueled by fantasy for motivation that's built by real, actual momentum. And all of this leads to a new mantra. Now, this might feel a little uncomfortable at first, I get it, but it is so liberating. It's all about embracing the power of good enough. Let's be really, really clear here. This is not about being mediocre. It's not about giving up on making great things. The goal isn't to lower your standards for good. It's to completely rewire your brain to change where you get your satisfaction. To get it from the messy, gritty process itself, not just from dreaming about some perfect finish line. So what does this look like on a Tuesday afternoon? It looks like this. 1%. That's it. Can you get just 1% better today? Can you write 50 words? Do 1 push-up? Send that 1 scary email? That's the whole goal. A tiny, imperfect, but very, very real step forward. Because perfection is a fantasy.
It gives you nothing real. But progress, no matter how small, gives you everything. It builds momentum. It gives you actual feedback you can use. It's achievable, which builds your confidence. Progress is where all the real learning and growth happens, not in the dream, but in the doing.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. Just for a minute, forget about the masterpiece. Forget the perfect plan. What is one small, messy, imperfect action that you can take right now to move forward? Go do that.